In this video, we're going to look at different types of constitutional amendments. There are different reasons why you might want to amend a constitution, and Canadian scholar Richard Albert is one of the world's leading experts on changing constitutions. In his book, Constitutional Amendments, outlines several different types of amendments. He identifies four primary categories, four reasons why you might want to amend a constitution. There are corrective amendments, elaborative amendments, reformative, and restorative. We'll look at each one in turn. A corrective amendment is a type of constitutional amendment in which you're trying to fix something. There might be part of the text or maybe a constitutional process that just isn't working right. An example was America, their 12th Amendment. Their presidential elections, their electoral college, weren't really working. In fact, one of their elections took several rounds to get through, and it revealed a problem within the process. You could get a tie, you could get the president of one party and the vice president of another party. It just didn't work. So they changed that formula through a constitutional amendment. It was corrective. It was trying to fix a process that really wasn't working to try and make it more effective. You could also have elaborative amendments. These are amendments that elaborate. They try and extend the reach of the Constitution. They try and add new stuff, or maybe open rights to new groups of people. One example in Canada would be the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. That was the Constitutional Act 1982. It was an amendment. It was added to the Constitution to introduce a whole new group of constitutional rights that applied to Canadians. And it also added a new amending formula that didn't exist before. So it was elaborative in the sense that it needed to add new stuff to the Constitution. You can also have reformative amendments that change the Constitution somehow, typically changing the very foundation or the operational features of it, changing how it works. In 1976, India had a package of constitutional amendments. Sometimes it's even called the mini-constitution because it was so extensive. There were some new value statements that were added to the preamble. Entirely new sections were added, and there was also changes to the way it worked within the separation of powers, changing the nature of the government. That kind of thing is completely reforming or changing the way things work in the government or the Constitution. Those are called reformative amendments. It's also possible to have restorative amendments, kind of like hitting the reset button. You want to either remove something or return to an earlier state prior to some kind of change or restoring an original meaning of the Constitution. America, 1951, they changed the Constitution to codify term limits. Initially, the first president, George Washington, stepped down after 2 terms, and that was the convention at the time. People just did it. It wasn't really part of the Constitution, but it was part of the practice. You only served 2 terms. Well, after Franklin Delano Roosevelt served multiple terms, there was a need to codify that, to get back to the 2-term limit and restore that original meaning, or at least the intent of the first president by stepping down after 2 terms. And so that was codified in the 22nd Amendment. So to recap, 4 categories of constitutions, and they correlate with 4 different reasons or motivations for changing the Constitution. It might be corrective, to fix something; elaborative, to add something; reformative, to change something; or to rewind, reset in a restorative amendment. Those are the different types of constitutional amendments.